I just look at it and I say, where's the where's the concern, John? All right, tell me where's the concern because I'm that's not even my whole argument on the Buccaneers. So where's the concern on Tampa Bay side?
So first off, there is no concern. We'll talk about the Saints in a few minutes. I will say one thing we haven't touched on yet is Bruce Arians stepping down, and then Todd Bowles being promoted. Bowles, I think we tend to forget this is a dude who won 10 games with Ryan Fitzpatrick and Chris Ivory in New York. That Jets team was not in flux of talent, and in spite of that, they overachieved in every way that season. Now he's going to be moving up to head coach. I like that a lot because to me, he was more than deserving of getting another opportunity as a head coach. His last 3 years in New York weren't good. I think it was 5-11, 4-12, maybe another 5-11. But it's the Jets. I mean, let's look at the Jets, kind of like the Dolphins the last 20 years. 10 wins is like we're throwing a mini parade. They didn't make the playoffs though, in spite of that. So I mean, in every sense, Todd Bowles is to me he's gonna fill in very well. I want to mention that that's pretty important. No Bruce Arians, and Bruce Arians is a good coach. I think there's a lot of like tension or a lot of rumors that maybe he didn't want to work with Tom. But overall, I think players want to play for Bruce Arians. He's the type of guy that's more laid back. He'll let players, take some time off. Go to a one of the big things he preaches is always making time for your family and stuff like that, and separating your work and football and your family life. I think players appreciated the way he approached the game specifically, and because of that, they're able to buy into him on the field. So I think that's very noteworthy. I think it's maybe the biggest thing about their offseason after Tom Brady returning. Leonard Fournette comes back. I think he's starting to lose some of the weight that he packed on the offseason after reporting at like 250 or something like that. When you're ready to talk about the Saints, I am, because there's no concern in Tampa Bay for me. Bruce, not Bruce, Drew Brees, he had 11 cracked ribs, a
Wait,
rotator cuff
wait,
torn.
wait.
That
With
was
the
the injuries he had before, by the way. I was
oh, okay,
totally
okay,
off. I was totally missing the boat on that. I didn't
but
remember exactly what it was, but it was basically everything
So
but
in 2020.
did you want to say something, Justin?
yeah, real quick. So you think there's no chance that anybody can dethrone the Bucks here?
Why would I?
Well, I'm just saying because the talent that the Saints added this offseason is no joke.
All right, but like again, who's got Tom Brady and who doesn't?
But at the end of the day, they didn't win the division in 2020 with Tom Brady.
But did they win the division last year? All right then. Which team? Let,
I mean, the Saints quarterback tore his ACL week 7 last year. They
all
had
right,
no receivers last season. Ready to jump into New Orleans? Because I'm more than ready
Yeah,
to.
let's
no,
go.
no, because I'm just trying to.
You're trying to
If there's
understand
no
why we're
con-
high on the Saints?
if there's no concerns with the Buccaneers, then I don't see how you think. So, do you think that the Bucks are going to lose more games this year than last year, or do you think the Saints are going to win more games than the Buccaneers this year?
All right, let's talk about the Saints. Yes, I think they're going to win more games this season because when you look at the team last year, yes, Sean Payne stepped down this offseason. That's the biggest thing because Sean Payne was a top 5 coach. And you look at what he did with Jameis Winston that one year he sat behind Drew Brees after leaving Tampa Bay. The year before, he had 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions, 5,000 yards. With Jameis Winston, the talent has always been there as a thrower of the football. His top end speed, like if he gets out the pocket somehow, he can scramble for a first down. He can move well in the pocket. He can make different throws. He reads defenses pretty well, but his instincts and more notably his ability to handle pressure and take care of the football, that's been the biggest concern with Jameis. And last year, the 6 healthy games he played, he had no receivers outside Alvin Kamara. None. Marquez Callaway, Deontay Harris, who changed his last name to Hardy, and that was it, my man. That was all he had. We're coming into the season where we think Alvin Kamara is going to be suspended for the first 4 to 6 games. Michael Thomas is on the pup list. But in the draft, they go out and get Chris Olave right outside the top 10. They lose Teron Armstead, who's an elite tackle, even though he's dealt with injuries. And they go and get Trevor Penning, who nonstop in camp has just been causing fights and a ruckus. Penning, to me, is one of the best tackle prospects by far. It's why he was a first round pick. And when you look at the Saints offensive line, it's one of the better ones. You have Ryan Ramczyk on the right side. I just talked about Penning. I think the interior will be fine enough. And along with Chris Olave and Michael Thomas hopefully being healthy and coming back, let's say week 4, you add in Jarvis Landry in the slot, who's still one of the better slot receivers. Now Marquez Callaway, instead of being a number 1 receiver, he's number 4. And last year, he stepped up in big ways with Jameis. Deontay Hardy changed the last name. Speedster, he's small, but in today's NFL, you use him pre-motion. Receivers can't just get absolutely bodied by cornerbacks. There's value in him being your 5th receiver as well. And then you look at the Saints defense, it might be the most underrated one in the entire NFL. Sean Payne's out, Dennis Allen's promoted head coach. This defense over the last, 4 years has been incredible. Marshawn Lattimore in the back end. Their secondary, in this case, has been one of the 3 best in the NFL, no questions asked, because there's no one you can really target there. You look at Cam Jordan and all the guys on their front 7. Davis, Davenport, I think it's his last name wrong. I mean, quite frankly, that Saints defense, like the Buccaneers, has no holes. You're just saying it before. Those are 2 elite defenses. And Jameis Winston this year, he's coming off a torn ACL, yes, but the quarterback, especially one's not going to move out the pocket, you're fine. I think he'll be ready week 1. And last year, we didn't get to see a full year of Jameis. But in that small 6-game sample size that we got, he looked really good. He was taking better care of the football. And you saw the talent shining through in spite of having just about no weapons.
Yeah, but hold on. All right, because first I just want to say I'm a more of a believer in Jameis Winston than a lot of people. I agree with John. I think the talent's there. Talent's not questioned. I think the ability to want to win, the will to win from Jameis, I think is there. I think a lot of people can see it. It's just, the focus on taking care of the ball has really been the issue with Jameis Winston. I mean, first off, Kamara is going to be suspended for several games this year, right? We don't even know how long. Probably
Let's say
6.
6.
Probably 6.
That.
That's still a lot. That's the first 6 games of the season you're going to be without Kamara.
Do you want to hear their schedule this first 6 weeks?
Well, hold on 1 second, because I think you're just glossing. I think you're looking at the talent, but I think you're glossing over the biggest thing, right? And you're saying Jameis performed very well last year. Yes, he did. But again, you're still glossing over a major difference in what happened and what was last year and the year before that and what is this year. That major difference is Sean Payton is gone. Sean Payton's not here anymore. Okay? So that guiding voice in Jameis's ear when he's on the field is not going to be there anymore. The offensive genius that Sean Payton is, that experience of 16 plus years, Super Bowl champion coach, it's gone. You're with Dennis Allen now. And Dennis Allen did a great job with the defense. I agree with you. He's a great defensive coordinator. Do I need to remind you what he did in Oakland as a head coach? He was 8-25 overall. All right. He was fired in his 3rd season after starting 0-4. Like, if you're gonna try and tell me that having Dennis Allen now if you're trying to tell me that going from Sean Payton to Dennis Allen is not going to have a major impact on that team, then I think you're crazy. Because that's ridiculous. Then you're just basically saying Sean Payton had no impact on the New Orleans Saints.
Those Raiders teams sucked. His quarterback was Terrell Pryor and
Answer
Carson
my
Palmer
question,
above
what
his
I just
prime.
said. If you're telling me that going from Sean Payton to Dennis Allen is not going to have a major impact on the New Orleans Saints this season, then you're basically telling me Sean Payton had no impact on the New Orleans Saints.
That's not the truth. That's not the truth. Nobody's discrediting Sean Payton's impact to the Saints. This team is super talented. What we're trying to get at is that their talent is more than capable of winning 11, 12 games this season. More than capable. And John, I don't even think John mentioned this. While he did mention the defense, their 2 safeties on the back end now are Tyrann Mathieu and Marcus May. That's one of the best safety duos in the league. Tom Brady has struggled against this defense already once. This is, and like I said, I'm not knocking Brady. I'm not knocking the Bucs. I'm not saying the Saints are going to win this division, but I'm saying they're definitely going to put up a fight for it. Sean Payton there, Drew Brees there or not, they're going to compete. They got the talent on the outside on offense. Jameis Winston has tons of weapons. When Kamara gets back in the fold, they'll probably have one of the more dynamic offenses in the league. And their defense has been one of the more consistent defenses over the last 4 or 5 years. They're always applying pressure. They always cause turnovers on the back end. I
And here's
just
some
yeah.
sorry.
No, please.
Here's some good news. Michael Thomas has started participating in 11 on 11 for the first time in 2 years. That's pretty good. And here's the other thing I'll say. Yes, not having Sean Payton's voice, I said before, maybe you didn't hear me, he's a top 5 coach, Hall of Famer. But with that being said, Jameis had 2 years with him, and most of that time was spent on the sidelines working with him in quarterback meetings, getting to soak so much knowledge from him. 2 years is a lot of time, my man. And that's, Jameis, after, 5 years in Tampa Bay, this is to me, an experienced veteran that has so much talent. And though that quarterback guru, the offensive, well, an elite offensive head coach isn't going to be there, I think Jameis soaked up so much from those 2 years. Would you not agree with me on that? That's a lot of time.
I would say he soaked up knowledge, but again, when you don't have that guy in your ear, and I don't even know who the offensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints is this year, but now Dennis Allen's the head coach. Dennis Allen's gonna have to make all the hard decisions. Dennis Allen's going to have to, think in crucial times. Do I challenge this play? Do I wait to challenge it? Do I take a timeout here? Do I not take a timeout here? Do I go for it on fourth down? Do I run it? Do I pass it? What do I do here? That's all. Sean Payton's been there, done that. Okay. Dennis Allen last time, you could say that the Raiders sucked, and I agree with you, they sucked. But his record is what his record is as a head coach. All right.
The fact of the matter is, this team is much better, though. Pete Carmichael is their
I,
offensive
I'm
coordinator.
I didn't. I'm not disagreeing with you there. I'm just saying I'm just saying his record is what his record is as a head coach. So he's not proven as a head coach. So you're basically telling me that Sean Payton, who you believe is a Hall of Famer, who is factually a Super Bowl champion, who you just said is a top 5 head coach in the league when coaching. I think we can all agree Dennis Allen is in the bottom half of top coaches in this league.
I've got some
Probably
questions.
20 or lower, I would say. We could go down the list. Like, he's not like, I would even say maybe 25 or lower. You're telling me you're going from top 5 to bottom 6
Well,
in
here's my
coaching.
questions.
This isn't basketball, John.
Is the defense still going to be elite, Brent?
Coaching is so. I'm not disagreeing. The defense won't be great. The defense probably will be great with talent and his defensive coordinator ability. I'm talking about offensively. I'm talking about crucial moments. I'm talking about impact plays. They always say what do former players always say? It's like 4 or 5 plays really determine the outcome of a football game. Like 4 or 5 major plays. I forget if I've heard like it's around there. It those play like I think you guys are honestly minimizing going from a top 5 head coach to a bottom 6 head coach. When I was just about to say this isn't basketball where talent is going to outweigh coaching, which I think it's more 75 players, 25% coaches in a NBA. Where I think in football, I think it's more around a 50-50 type fields.
But the thing
Or
is,
60-40.
with the Saints, it's you're making this big fuss about Sean Payton, but the roots of that he's planted are still in that organization. The offensive coordinator has been there for what, 14 seasons? He's been their offensive coordinator for the last 14 years. So that offense that they ran with Sean Payton can still be ran to perfection.
It's been there for almost 2 decades.
Dennis Allen has been there for a while. Like I said, the roots of Sean Payton, what he planted there in that organization is still there. So why not? Why can't they still be a great team? I get you lose that voice, but now you have people that have been around him, and now it's time for somebody else to step up. You say Dennis Allen is on the bottom of the barrel when it comes to head coaches. Well, so is Josh McDaniels in Las Vegas.
And I'm not a believer in that team.
So, but that's what I'm getting at is this is a second go round. This is his second chance. Todd Bowles is getting a second chance. Josh McDaniels getting a second chance. Dennis Allen now. I'm not gonna say, yo, this guy's at the bottom of the barrel. We don't know with this kind of talent. Like I said, they can win 11 to 12 games. Why not?